So the Minnesota Vikings just held voluntary minicamps, and we finally got to see JJ McCarthy out on a field making throws. It's just great to see football back, and obviously McCarthy is going to be in the spotlight, and he's going to be the talk of the offseason because after trading Darnold, the Vikings are all in on him. And TJ Hockenson actually compared McCarthy's throws to a Hall of Famer that is still active in the league, and that is Matthew Stafford. So that's definitely some high praise, and the ball looked great coming out of his hands with a lot of zip, and he aired it out a bit as well. I'm not going to spend more than a minute breaking down these throws because I know there's no defenders and it's just a casual practice setting, but again, it is just good to see football happening on a football field. But before I begin, I would really appreciate it if you would drop a like and subscribe. It only takes 5 seconds, plus you can always change your mind. We are now on the road to 60,000 subscribers. We just hit 50. Thank you all so much, and with your support, I believe that we can get there super fast. Alright, so starting off, going over these throws from JJ McCarthy, we got to see one over-the-shoulder bomb where he showcased his ability to locate the football on time and on target off his back leg. I know all NFL quarterbacks can do this, and they have to be able to do this, but again, it is just great to see. We saw him throw an out route, and then we saw him make another over-the-shoulder throw to the left side of the field, leading his guy out of bounds. So overall, JJ McCarthy looks good so far and recovered from that injury. It's going to be really fun to watch and cover him over the next few weeks. Alright, now moving on to the real stuff, I'm going to start with the bad news. This is not really new information, but the Vikings in 2025 are going to have the 5th hardest schedule in the NFL on paper as of right now. Now, as we all know, that will change because every year there are surprise teams and there are teams that underperform, but just being in the division that the Vikings are in, there are not very many of those so-called easy games, and that's why it's going to be really tough to repeat what was done last year. But at the same time, I don't think the Vikings really want to repeat. I mean, a 12-win team that makes a deep playoff run is better than a team that goes 14-3 and gets bounced in the first round, right? So I'm actually glad the Vikings are going to be even more battle tested. It should work out to be a good thing if we're being honest. And I don't understand why some people are saying the Vikings are going to regress. They upgraded almost their entire offensive line, they upgraded the defensive tackle position, they re-signed multiple Pro Bowlers, and McCarthy is a guy with much more upside than Sam Darnold. Now it's just about putting it all together. Let's talk about who the Vikings re-signed and signed in free agency. The first guy I want to talk about is Rondale Moore. Many people in Big Ten country still remember Moore's dynamic freshman season in which he led FBS with 114 receptions and led the conference with 1,258 receiving yards and 12 touchdowns through the air. There's a good chance Vikings fans remember his first pro score too, since he popped a 77-yarder against Minnesota in week 2 of 2021 at Arizona. He is small in size, but super fast, and Moore missed an opportunity to make a mark in Atlanta last season because of a knee injury he suffered during joint practices. He's positioned to add unique versatility to this offense. Next up, let's talk about Jeff Okudah, the number 3 overall pick of the 2020 draft. He has dealt with multiple injuries in his career, but he's still only 26 years old, so his window is not closed yet, and at 6'1" and 205 pounds, Okudah is a sizable addition to the Vikings cornerback room, who ran a 4.48 in the 40-yard dash and showcased a 41-inch vertical at the 2020 NFL Scouting Combine. Throughout his career, these are his numbers: 177 total tackles, 145 solo, 7 tackles for a loss, 2 interceptions, 14 passes defensed, and 1 forced fumble in 44 games with the Lions, Falcons, and Texans, and he started 31 of those games. The Vikings also brought in Justin Skoll from Tampa Bay, a fitting name to bring onto this team, and he is a tackle that has started 17 out of 66 games in his career. He's a swing tackle, so he brings the team a lot of versatility. Harrison Smith re-signed as a safety again to begin his 14th season as a Viking. He is definitely one of the longest tenured players to one team in the NFL. He has played in 8 postseason games, so he has valuable experience, and here are his numbers. In 2024, he started in 16 games and had 3 interceptions, 1 fumble recovery, 1 sack, 87 tackles, and throughout his career, he's played in 191 games. He's had 37 interceptions, 4 return touchdowns, 12 forced fumbles, 9 fumble recoveries, 20.5 sacks, 1,126 tackles, 43 quarterback hits, and throughout his postseason career, he's played in 8 games, he's had 3 passes defended, 1 sack, 55 tackles, and 2 quarterback hits, so not too shabby. Next up, this one may have been one of the most important and best moves the Vikings made even if they had to overpay a bit. I love the addition of Will Fries, a guard from Indianapolis. In 2024, he started in 5 games, but he suffered a fractured tibia in week 5 at Jacksonville, and throughout his career, he started 31 games, he's played in 41, and he will turn 27 on April 4th, so he's young enough to still have a lot in the tank, and he's old enough to have some good experience, and he already has great chemistry with Kelly. He started 9 of 16 games in 2022 and all 17 of 2023. Another huge addition was Jonathan Allen from Washington. In 2024, he had 19 tackles, 3 tackles for a loss, 3 sacks, 7 quarterback hits, all in 8 games. He returned from a pectoral injury that he suffered in week 6 to play at the end of the season, and throughout his career he has 401 tackles, 60 tackles for a loss, 42 sacks, 118 QB hits, 5 passes defensed, 2 forced fumbles, 2 fumble recoveries, 1 interceptions, all in 109 games. So Minnesota is adding a 30-year-old who appeared in the Pro Bowl after the 2021 and 2022 seasons with the intent of creating more pressure on passers from the interior of the defensive line in 2025. That definitely wasn't like a weakness last year, but it definitely was something that you could have highlighted that needed to be improved upon. Alright, now moving on, let's talk about what the Vikings did in the draft. And first off, we have to start with Donovan Jackson, the guard they selected with pick 24 out of Ohio State. The scouting report on him is that he is a versatile, powerful interior lineman with the ability to play both guard and tackle. Though he's projected to be a starting left guard, he's known for his imposing 6'4", 320-pound frame, elite arm length, and strong core, making him an NFL-ready anchor in pass protection and a tone setter in the run game. But he does have some weaknesses and things that he can work on and improve upon, and the first thing would be that he can sometimes play too tall, he's susceptible to leverage from shorter defenders, and then he occasionally has wide hand placement, and then also he has some stiffness when redirecting against quick inside moves, and then he can be over aggressive in space, he can whiff on blocks at the second level, and then one more thing that he also needs to improve upon is his timing when climbing to linebackers. Alright, next up, let's talk about the Vikings' 3rd round pick of Ty Felton, a wide receiver out of Maryland. Felton is a savvy route runner with excellent short area quickness and footwork. He excels at separating in the short and intermediate areas, using sharp cuts and hesitation moves. Felton is adept at finding soft spots in zone coverage and is tough after the catch. In terms of what he brings to the table, he projects as a slot receiver who can provide immediate separation, and he can contribute on special teams a bit as well. He'll give the Vikings a reliable target in the middle of the field, and he'll of course add a little bit of depth to what the Vikings have at receiver. In terms of his collegiate stats, in 2024, he had 96 receptions with 1,124 yards and 9 touchdowns. Throughout his career, he's had 172 receptions for just over 2,200 yards with 17 touchdowns all over 46 games. Alright, moving on, now let's talk about Tyrion Ingram-Dawkins, the defensive lineman the Vikings took out of Georgia in the 5th round at pick 139. Ingram-Dawkins is a big, versatile defensive lineman who can play as a massive edge or agile defensive tackle. He uses his length well and is most effective against the run, but his pass rushing skill set is still developing. He flashed athleticism at the combine, but was somewhat caught between positions at Georgia. In college in 2024, he had 19 total tackles, 15 of them were solo, he had 3 sacks and 1 forced fumble, and throughout his career he had 39 tackles, 4 sacks, 2 passes defended, and 1 forced fumble. He has pretty good size and length to disrupt run plays. He's shown flashes of athleticism and power. He can play multiple spots along the line, and then he's an effective bull rush type of player. Those are his strengths. In terms of his weaknesses, he had limited college production until last season, and he kind of lacks a deep arsenal of pass rushing moves. He lacks a deep bag, and also he needs to develop a little bit more consistency. Next up is Kobe King, a linebacker out of Penn State, and I know his name because I'm an Ohio State fan, and when Ohio State played Penn State, I heard his name come up a lot. King is a physical linebacker known for his tackling and run defense. He's a steady presence in the middle, instincts, but limited playmaking in coverage. King adds depth and special teams value with the potential to develop into a rotational or starting linebacker due to his tackling reliability and football IQ. So yeah, that's really all I have for this video. I kind of just wanted to go over everything going on with the Vikings right now. JJ McCarthy finally making throws at minicamp, and I wanted to review some of the draft picks and pickups that that the Vikings made. I think 2025 is going to be a very exciting year for this team, but let me know what you guys think and what you are expecting in the comments below. That's all I got for this video. If you made it to this point, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe because your support truly does mean the world. I can't even put it into words how grateful I am to finally hit 50k subscribers, but you know what that means. The road to 60k, the road to 100k starts now, and we're going to get there super fast. Thank you all. Make sure to subscribe and hit that bell notification so you never miss another upload. And until next time, I will see you all later.